everyone, James here from LAGFX, back today with another Trading Couch video. Today we're just going to have a generic conversation basically.
Some nonsense.
Yeah, just see where the conversation leads us. So sit back, grab a coffee and enjoy.
Right, so before we do dive into this video, at the end of the last episode we asked some people to comment cut. If you've still been watching, great way for us to see what the audience retention is. So everyone who did comment that will flash you up on the screen now, and there's going to be another one at the end of this video, so
Yeah,
if you want to be thrown up on the screen yourself, then watch all the way through. First order of business, Boris Johnson resigns. What do we think about that? And the impact, I mean, first and foremost, there's a whole implication with him resigning politically, but in the foreign exchange markets, what's your thoughts on how that's going to have an effect, if any?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, the markets have been a bit weird, I would say, this week alone. Like the last time, I was saying to you the other day, the last time I've seen the markets be the way they've been was like 2019.
But is that all markets or mainly Great British Pound related markets?
I would say it's all major markets. So obviously it's not. I don't think it stems purely from Bojo, but I think that has had an impact, 100%, because I think that brings doubt, doesn't it? It brings doubt to our economy, and if our Prime Minister is resigning, I don't think it looks very, it's not very good, is it?
Well, it's just like, the way I always put it to people who don't understand fundamental news and the effects, it's literally just like, you know, the old school weighing scales where you have, like a cup on each side and it balances out. If you've got the same weight of balance, it's like, one side's financial confidence, the other side's financial worry. When there's financial confidence in a currency or a market, people put money in. When there's worry, people take money out. So all this is doing is just putting more weight into financial worry with the Great British Pound.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And therefore more investors are going to pull away from it.
Yeah.
Because of the fact there's uncertainty, there's doubt. People don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to affect the economy. They don't want to be involved with that currency whilst it potentially could be so volatile. So it's just financial worry. But I can't imagine it's going to have major impacts, because economically there's no huge impact that this resignation or transition will have. It's more just,
I think it's
the news itself. People get a bit...
And I think because, like, you know, if he's someone who's supposed to be, at the end of the day, he's supposed to be, you know, running the country. If he's just, you know, packed his bags and left, then it's a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't look very good. I don't think it, you know what I mean? So I can understand why it would have some kind of impact.
But then again, this has been building up for ages.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, all the parties he was having.
Yeah, because it's not like an overnight thing where he's just like, oh, resign out of nowhere quick, let's take all of our money out of the pound. Like,
but I think because the news has come out, like, yes, he's resigning, that's obviously why then, you know what I mean? But no, overall, I mean, I've seen the markets have been very, very weird. Like, I'll be completely honest with you, I've not been able to trade the markets this week at all. I mean, I had two positions yesterday that were set up to go, and they played out perfectly. The only problem was I was asleep when they tapped into a point of interest of mine.
Session, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was literally like 1:30. So I'll put those on screen now so you can see that I had the setup, so you'll see the before and the after. So
it happens
annoying.
All the time. You'll have a setup and it'll happen outside of trading hours.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
What can you do, eh?
As far as like Boris Johnson goes, I mean, I think he had to go. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's tough. Because what I was saying to you is, like, it is just like a mistake. And at the end of the day, like, when you're in a position of power, like, if he could get away with it, then he can get away with it. It's obviously just the fact that people find out. But like I said, because within politics, like, these are all people who are taking any opportunity they can to get ahead, or it's like a constant war, a constant battle between the parties and people who, like, in the world of power, even outside of politics, like, everybody's trying to find a way to get an edge over somebody else and grow in power. So him making that mistake has just given everyone else leverage to gain power over him or tarnish his reputation for their own
Well, that's
benefits.
I mean, I mean, everyone was like saying stuff about him before all of this came out. You know what I mean? So when it did come out that he was having parties and he was breaking the rules, and then they found drugs and thing, and
Did
then
they?
oh yeah,
That part.
they found drugs at number 10. They found drugs at number 10. They're having parties there. That guy, that whoever he was, whoever he was, what was his name? He's necked on with that girl when he's got a wife. You know what I mean?
What's his name? He was on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, wasn't he?
Yeah, like how much of a joke is
Yeah.
our? You know what I mean?
That's bad. It is bad, and the thing is, like, when you're in that position, like, you're under that much scrutiny, like, why would you ever make such a dangerous play?
It was ridiculous.
Like,
so I mean, he had to go, like he did. Like, do you know what? Like, fair play to him for you know, it was a hard time, like doing what he had to do with the pandemic. I mean, no one's been through that. Like, you know, this is something new, so I can completely understand that it's, you know,
still a wild play to make.
But like, yeah, having parties, getting sniffed up, you know what I mean, like necking on with birds and stuff like that. It sounded like a fucking high school party, you know what I mean?
As I said, like, just in that position, like, you have to protect your reputation with your life when you're in the limelight that much.
It was so
your reputation's everything.
And do you know what? It's so frustrating because you've got to think as well, like when like the midst of the UK were like in
that's what I mean.
In full
like,
lockdown,
you couldn't even go out and see friends, and he's there, and
like,
it's just
you know
like
what I mean.
a
And
mockery.
people can't attend funerals and things like that, and he's literally there having cheese and wine in the garden with his colleagues. It's like, come on, mate.
Oh, is it Matt Hancock?
Yeah, that's
the guy? Is that
that's
his name?
The one, yeah. Like, what was he doing?
Like, what does he? It's wild. Like, what do you expect? Especially during a time where there's that much scrutiny on the government. Like, in lockdown, nobody's doing work. Like, everybody has time to just sit and judge the government and give their opinions. And so many reporters. This is going to be a time, or it was a time, where reporters are literally on them 24/7. And he's like, I'm just going to make this wild play, cheat on my wife, and get with somebody
on camera as well, and oh man,
it's just daft. Yeah, like, obviously people make mistakes, and you have to understand from a point, like, just because they're in a position of power, they're not superhumans. Like, they are going to make mistakes.
Literally, no, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. I would say it's bad of us to sit here and judge them because, you know, like, who says we could do better? But like, you know, like, I think there was just a bit of stupidity in all of it. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Like, he was like, there was a time where him and the health minister and all that were saying how, like, you can't have sex with your partner, you can't kiss other people, can't do that. But then he is literally doing that behind closed doors.
But then again, I guess
it's
a case of, like, think of how much stress they would have been under.
So what? Because you're
no. I'm just saying, right? Hear me out. Like, as you said, they're facing, like, an extremely difficult time. I would hate to have been in any of their positions. Not only because of the fact that they are constantly in the limelight, but they're constantly having to defend themselves and rationalise their decisions and try and keep everybody happy in the world. Think about the amount of stress that's going to build up, and, like, it's so easy for their brain to just default to, like, doing something random to try and alleviate that stress. Not trying to excuse what they did, but you can understand how that stress.
I mean, COVID was a crazy time, and I feel like we like, you know, we're coming to the end of it. I mean, we don't really hear very much about it. You know, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, my family's just had COVID for the second time. Like, we've had another wave of it.
We both literally just recovered from it.
Yeah, so like that's, like, you know, but I feel like it is kind of, no one talks about it. You know what I mean? It's old news now. You know what I mean? We're just kind of getting on with it, which I think is the best thing to do. But bloody hell, it was a crazy time, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, but
to say that we were locked down in our houses and we couldn't do anything, we couldn't go anywhere, like, it was crazy, man.
It's weird looking back. I don't know why I didn't take more advantage of it. I would just sit at home and do nothing.
So just to round off the video, what's one thing you said that, you know, what's one thing you can say that you took away from the pandemic and going through what we went through when COVID was a thing?
Psychologically, there's a lot, to be fair. I think it was sort of just as I was coming out of sixth form, and when you're in school, you're so used to being in a social environment and you rely on other people. And it's like I was massively, as most people are, you're, like, confined within social constructs where it's like you're trying to be a certain way, look a certain way, do certain things to fit within that social norm. Whereas lockdown very much made me competent with who I am, and quite a spiritual little journey of finding out who I am, and especially leaving that social side of things. And yeah, it was quite good for me developmentally as an individual to find out what I want to do with my life, who I am, and come to terms with it.
No,
So
that's good. That's
spiritual
quite a positive,
there,
quite a positive thing actually. I mean, would you say it impacted you negatively in any way? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, being that lonely is never ideal on mental health. It was, I became quite, when we did go back to social aspects of life, I was quite awkward in those scenarios at first.
I've got to say, like, beforehand I was quite extroverted, and after being in lockdown I became quite introverted. Like, I got used to being normal. In my own space.
Everybody had to take that shift, because if you were trying to be extroverted during lockdown, then it's like our brains were trying to protect themselves by becoming introverted. So going back out into that social side of things, it was weird. It was really weird, and especially like, yeah, I don't know.
Even now though, like
we could go into.
Like it's crazy, because like even like, you know, people that are close to me now, like they are still suffering from the impacts that COVID had. Like not in terms of like physical health, but like mentally. You know what I mean? Like it's done. Like we know people personally that are still like stuck in the house, not leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like it was a crazy time, but I think as you say, I think we should do like a whole episode on this, like the impacts of COVID, and I think that'd be quite good.
Yeah, moving on.
So yeah, that's probably going to be the next episode. We'll just talk about like our experiences with COVID, and how we dealt with it, and how we've come through the whole thing. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we can round that up there. If you're still watching at this point, comment. What are they going to comment? COVID-19. So everyone who comments that, you'll be flashed up in the next episode. Quite a nice privilege, if you ask me, but
too right.
We'll see you then. So thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you leave that comment, COVID-19, and we'll see you on the channel the next time we're back here on the trading couch, which we'll probably film right after this. So we'll be in the exact same clothes. So see you in a few weeks.